If the Democrats have a better idea, tell me what it is. We're on track to get 1 million illegal immigrants from Central America. We got a 900,000 person backlog. It is not a manufactured crisis. I want to start a debate of how to fix this problem.
And a 900,000 backlog. Lindsey Graham set to release his immigration bill today. The legislation calls for sweeping changes to the current system and its loopholes. Joining me now to weigh in is the president of the Border Patrol Foundation, Ronald Colburn. Thank you so much for joining us. We really appreciate it.
Thank you, Heather.
You know, we've been hearing about these backlog numbers, 1 million new immigrants coming in. Some of the main points of Graham's immigration bill, let's go through these, and I would like for you to comment on them. Preventing people from seeking asylum at the actual U.S. border and instead apply for asylum at consulates outside of the U.S. The U.S. would be able to hold migrant children for 100 days. And, of course, 500 new immigration judges, which we've been told repeatedly we need. So your overall thoughts on his plan?
I absolutely agree with those points. I have not read the entire language yet, but just a month ago on Fox, I mentioned that I hoped that somewhere there was a smart team sequestered writing good language that could be legislatively passed to help this situation. And I blame Congress, so I'm glad to see Senator Graham taking this on.
But that's the key, though. Can it be legislatively passed? Because that seems to be the problem that we run into over and over.
I think he will face a challenge there. Unfortunately, it's a threat and a risk at the border right now that is untenable, and it should be a bipartisan interest, and unfortunately, the parties are fighting it out. But I do hope they can find a solution.
Yeah, I don't see how it's not a bipartisan interest when they take a look at these numbers. These are just for April. The southwest border total apprehensions, you look at 2019, over 109,000. And then compare that to the numbers in the past, 2018, just over 51,000. And then it goes down from there. I mean, the numbers are overwhelming. Go back to what we were talking about in terms of asylum and those seeking asylum, because you had some information on that as well as to those who are legitimate asylum seekers.
Right now, statistics show that about 7% of those that are crossing illegally into the United States and attempting to claim credible fear asylum or refugee status actually qualify. 7%. The rest are just taking advantage of the chaos and being released into the U.S. And that's what's different from 10 years ago, when 90% plus were being returned to their countries after attempting to enter illegally. Now, pretty much they're all being released into the U.S., including some that may be carrying communicable diseases because the incubation periods are longer than the mandated holding periods before they are released.
And what about this marriage scam that we just heard about that was released yesterday? This cost of up to $70,000 per marriage, so that's the scam part of it. But there have been 206 indictments, 96 defendants so far. They face between 10 to 30 years in jail. I'm
very pleased to see that law enforcement has finally taken down a large and complex marriage fraud organization. These are criminal organizations. Marriage fraud has been going on for 6+ decades by criminals, but now the transnational criminal organizations run it and control it. And as you can see, $50,000, $70,000 is a lot of money. That's what the smugglers are getting right now for what they call exotics. Those from the Middle East, Southeast Asia, Eastern Europe, they're getting $50,000 a piece easily.
You know, the marriage scam, and then we hear about the scam where they're using these children, people paying to, use children to try to get across the border as well over and over. Ronald Colburn, thank you so much for joining us. We appreciate it. We'll see what happens with Lindsey Graham's plan. Thank you.